Hey everyone, this is Pete from Pete on the AT. Today I'm going to talk to you about chafing on the Appalachian Trail. I feel like the topic of blisters have been pretty well covered in other videos from other people, but in my opinion, chafing in many ways are worse than blisters because you've got an open sore and it makes it much easier for that to get infected. So basically chafing is when you rub your skin raw, whether it's from, skin to skin rubbing or skin to material rubbing. But the problem with chafing is, number one, you don't know if you're going to chafe. And number two, if you are going to chafe, you don't know where on your body you're going to chafe. So let's talk about both of those things. Generally, people don't chafe in their everyday workaday life. Even if they're regular exercisers, whether they're running 5 miles a day, whether they're taking a spin class, whether they swim, the reason is because they're not doing endurance length activities, okay? And generally, that's where you're going to chafe, is an endurance length activity like a marathon, like riding your bike 50 plus miles, like training for an Ironman triathlon. And arguably, the Appalachian Trail is one of the premier endurance length activities. So if you're going to chafe, there's a good chance you're going to chafe on the AT, all right? As a side note, chafing occurs more frequently in the warmer months. Why? Because we tend to sweat more when it's hot. And sweat is basically water and salt leaving your body. The water evaporates, leaving a coat of salt crystals on your skin. And those salt crystals act as an abrasive, like sandpaper. And that's why you can rub your skin raw. Okay, so if you're starting the trail in January, February, March, and you might not experience any chafing because you don't sweat as much. But remember, be prepared. In the warmer months, there's a good chance that you're going to chafe. Okay. So now that you're aware that chafing can occur, where in your body will you chafe? The quick answer is anywhere there's prolonged skin to skin or skin to material chafing. But I can tell you by far the most unpopular place that you chafe is in between your butt cheeks and in your groin area, by far. But you can also chafe anywhere else. You can chafe underneath your arms because you're using your trekking poles, okay, and your underarms rub. Say you've got big thighs, and they rub, so your inner thighs is a place that a lot of hikers will chafe. You can chafe underneath your breasts, both men and women. You can chafe your nipples. And that actually occurs more with men than women because women wear tight sports bras. Okay. But you can also chafe when you're wearing your backpack on your shoulders. You can chafe in your lower back. You can chafe around your midsection because your waist band might chafe. And that can be prevented if you make sure that you have the right pack size, whether your straps are adjusted correctly. But that's a very typical place for backpackers to chafe. So now that you know to anticipate chafing and where you might chafe, how do you prevent it? There's a couple of different ways. One is you can put a physical barrier in between your skin and where you're chafing, or you can use a lubricant. For example, if you've got big thighs and you're likely to chafe in your inner thighs, then wear long pants. Get shorts that hang down to your knees. In a pinch, you can put Luca-tape in between your thighs. Say you're chafing on your shoulders, okay? You've got to put something in between your shirt and your skin. Get out your extra pair of socks and put them on your pad. That way your socks and your shirt are rubbing and it's leaving your skin alone, okay? But one of the best ways to prevent chafing is by using a lubricant. And there's a couple of different lubes that you can use. There's something called Body Glide. I used it during my Ironman training. It works really well. It comes in a deodorant looking container. It also comes in a cream form. But what I like to use and what I take on the trail is good old Vaseline. okay? This is less than 2 ounces. It's very light. And the reason I like Vaseline is a number of reasons. Number one, you can buy it anywhere on the trail, okay? It's at the Dollar General, it's at the grocery stores, it's at the gas stations. It's relatively inexpensive. And Body Glide, you usually have to buy in a sporting goods store, okay? Or maybe an outfitter has it. But also Vaseline, you only need a little bit. Because it's petroleum based, it's got a great durability. So I put the Vaseline on in the beginning of the day, and I usually don't have to reapply at all, okay? So that's why I like Vaseline. Also, you can use Vaseline anywhere on your body. It's safe. So it's easy to apply. You know, you can put it in between your legs. You know, it can lubricate all your nooks and crannies, and you can just forget about it. All right. I would not use like a KY type jelly, because that's more water-based, and that tends to like dissolve and melt away too quickly, so it doesn't really do you much good long term. So now, in a pinch, okay, in a pinch, you're on the trail, you don't have any lubricant, and you're chafing. You can use an antibacterial cream, say like Neosporin. Those are generally petroleum-based, and in a pinch you can use that until you get to a resupply place where you can get Body Glide or Vaseline. And one other thing that you can use if you're desperate, and I've done this before, is you take a piece of your chapstick, you break it up and warm it up and rub it in your hand, and then you can put it on an area where you're chafing. So at any rate, thank you for watching this video. If you have other comments or you have other ideas on how you prevent chafing, please leave them in the comments for everybody else's edification. And as always, I hope to see you on the trail.